No.
Check. 1, 2. Okay. If I start rapping and I'm sliding, you playing seat and we hide.
Okay.
Yeah. I stop at a stop sign and yield.
Ugh.
Shoot from 3. I'm Buddy Hill. Let me just stop. All right, look. All right. I'm done. See, they just keep playing the beat. Like, I just want to slide. I really do. I ain't gonna do it today. But yo, that was kind of loud. My bad. But welcome to the Call Podcast. I'm CJ here with Taraja, and I'm gonna let the special guests introduce themselves today. So,
My name is Kyla Overton. I am a Murfreesboro native, and I go to Faith Chapel, Murfreesboro. Here in Murfreesboro, we are under the covering of Bishop Christopher A. Johnson,
let's go.
and I'm glad to be here.
Sure.
All right. Well, it's your girl Lisa. I am here. I go to Zion Christian Ministries, and I serve on the culture media team.
That is what's up. Listen, we're just gonna start it off a little smooth action or whatever. So I just want to ask y'all, free to leave your top movies in the comments, but I want to just ask y'all, what's your top 4 favorite movies? Like, anybody can start. I mean, shoot.
4 is so specific. I guess I'll start. Top is that movie about Harriet Tubman,
Okay.
and then I like this movie called Beloved. I like this movie called. I also like Ace Ventura.
With what's it called? Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay. Yeah.
And my 4th one would have to be. I don't know. I got 3.
That's 3.
all.
That's sufficient. I mean, shoot, Taraja.
I like Django, Hereditary, and Roll Bounce.
Why do you like Django? All right, I'm gonna stop. All right, go.
I really don't watch movies like that, but whatever movies I do watch, they always have something to do with music. So like Dreamgirls, Hairspray, stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm really into like Turning Red, even though it's like a teenage movie, like becoming a teenager movie. Like I fall asleep to it like every night.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
See, my top 4 kind of weird just because I can't really confine it to a 4. But the first one, I'd probably say Parasite. I think it's like a Korean movie type or Japanese. I don't know, but it definitely speaks to mine. Then I got Love Jones.
Okay.
Like I always,
Okay.
like I used to
Okay.
rewatch that like every night back and forth. So Love Jones. Shoot, I would go Amadeus. That was about Mozart. So
Okay.
I love Amadeus, and then I don't know why it still speaks to me to this day, but I'm gonna go Menace to Society, honestly.
Okay.
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 All right.
Oh dog, I feel like dog. I'm lying. I don't feel like dog. All right, so the first question I had for y'all today is just how does it feel just growing up as a young adult in church? Because there's a lot of people that have gone away from the church, especially going into young adulthood and the teenage years as well. So how do y'all feel about it? Like just growing up in church, going to church, still being a Christian, but, still living your life to where everybody else can relate to it as well.
I've always been in the church. Our church is a legacy church, so my great-grandfather founded and built the church, with his bare hands. And then it was passed on to my grandmother. And after she passed, we had someone, that was there pastoring for about 7 years. And then my mother recently became pastor a little over 2 years ago. And I don't feel any different. I know the pandemic really had something to do with it because I don't remember a time where I wasn't in church.
Mm-hmm.
So when the pandemic hit, it was like an odd feeling for me not to be there because I've always been there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, do you feel like the pandemic helped y'all or harmed y'all with your faith as far as, just staying isolated and, just being inside all the time? Do y'all feel like it helped you, harmed you?
I feel like it did both.
Yeah.
It questioned my faith a bit, but it also made me stronger
Mhm.
to God at the end of the pandemic.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I feel like it helped me. And then also to touch on what Kyla said, I had a bit of a different experience than y'all. I did not grow up in a church. I didn't actually formally join as a member at a church until 2016. So I'm still kind of fresh. I've always had that foundation as far like I knew, if you ask me, I'm a Christian, and I knew about Jesus, the Son of God. I knew that, but I was never like in church. It was always like well, we ain't been to church in about a year. Let's just go ahead and hop back in. Like, I did not grow up in church, so it wasn't until about 2016 where I actually found God for myself and decided to join the church on my own.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How was that experience for you? Like, especially just not growing up, but then hopping into a church in 2016.
It was I guess a lifestyle change completely. Because I went from being able to just kind of, it's one of those things, where people, they do what they do, and I'm like, oh, God know my heart, and they just keep, and you ask them, they say, I'm a Christian, but then it was a complete lifestyle change for me to actually start taking it more serious, joining a team. Like, I was talking to Jeremiah, my husband, yesterday, and we were talking about how back then I had like a really kind of anxiety about joining a church, because when I was little, they would start off as if it's a conversation and be like, do you love God? And I'm like, yeah. Do you accept the Lord, Lord and Savior into your heart? You believe in Jesus? Yeah. All right, so here's a membership pack. What do you want to, like, choose a team to join, choose a ministry to join? And I'm like, hold on, I'm 8 years old. I don't know what and so I was always like, I would tell Jeremiah, like, back a few years ago when I did join, I was like, Jeremiah, I do want to join, but I don't want to do it in front of everybody. And so it was, to me, it was just like a complete lifestyle change. I had to change my mindset from what I thought church was into actually knowing what it really was.
That's what's up. Yeah. So I grew up in the church, and I think it was different for me, especially just being around, since my dad is a pastor, bishop. But just especially just seeing how everybody moved and operated around behind the scenes and things like that. Just growing up, and I kind of, when I got to college a little bit, I kind of, I had a period to where I didn't want to go to church for a little bit, and I think everybody noticed that, because my freshman year I kind of stopped going for a couple weeks, then I'd come back. But as I grew up and as I matured, during this year, I realized there's no place like church. I mean, just being with like-minded people who want to grow and see God work in each other's lives. I just feel like just the church is essential, and which led into my next question. How did the church help you grow into the person that you wanted to become? Because I know a lot of people, they believe in God, they say they're Christians, but they don't go to church. And I feel like, I mean, I'm indifferent about it, just because I know that there are certain churches that, push an agenda on you, and they make you feel as if you don't want to go to church, and you feel like you can learn about God by yourself. So I just want to know y'all's thoughts on that. How do y'all feel church helped you in that sense?
I didn't really become super invested in church until, my mom became pastor. I've always been a singer, but I never felt a real pull to be a part of worship or to sing with anyone else. But when you are a part of a small church and there's only so many of you, you're going to end up doing multiple things. So I sing, I'm doing media, I'm ministering training, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. So church really helped me get out of my comfort zone a little bit better with public speaking, especially, and just doing what God called me to do. And I don't think I would be as confident if my mom didn't become pastor, because her becoming pastor pulled a stretch on her, but it pulled a stretch on literally the rest of the congregation that was left. So it really woke everybody up to, you know, do everything in excellence and to be a part and to do everything like to the best of our ability. And that's how we got where we are today.
I feel that. Hashtag visuals by Lynn. All right.
Yeah.
To me, church just makes me happy because people there are so welcoming, knowing that we're all there for the same reason, and that's for God. And nobody can really judge anybody because we've all sinned, and we all are there for forgiveness and to praise the Lord. So it's very happy to know people understand what people have went through, and that people there are just so happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I feel that. But I think that's the main thing for me. It's just, you know, when I would come, like nobody would judge me for, you know, not being there for a couple of weeks. Nobody would judge me. Of course, they would poke fun at me like,
Right.
where you been?
Yeah.
What was you doing last
Because
night?
you the PK.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
where
But
you at?
where you been? But no, it was always loving. It was always, you know, welcoming. I remember Rica's one time I would come. Y'all know Rica's crazy, but I hope you're not watching this. My bad, brother. My bad. I'm gonna catch you on the flip side. But nah, I remember one time I came. It had been about 3 weeks. He was like, "What's your knucklehead self been into?" I was like, "Dang, in front of everybody? Like, are we serious?"
Oh yeah, he don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dang. But I honestly needed that because I just needed that push. And I was like, dang, I am, you know, the PK. I am, you know, what my brother and sister look up to. And me not coming to church, it kind of affected me because I had seen them going to church. I mean, of course, they live in the same household. So, I mean, they had to go to church. But just being a bigger brother, it kind of activated something in me. So I was like, nah, I gotta get back in church. But speaking of church, listen. We have the biggest conference in the Middle Tennessee area.
Come on.
And we're going to have Ray Vernon come in VAR Studios. We're so excited. July 28th through the 29th. Lizzie Morgan from Maverick City. Let's... I almost got hyped. I almost started yelling in the mic again. But nah, we're going to have them come in. And registration is up right now, July 28th to the 29th. Right now, the early bird is $75. But regular registration soon is going to be $100. So you do not want to miss it. And speaking of that, we're going to go to these cards. I have actually a little game we could play. I'm just going to pick like 3 cards maybe. And I just want to, you know, see what our answers are to this. So let's see how this works. I ain't never played the card game. But okay, the first question. Do you think that God can see into the future or controls the future? Why?
I mean, I think it's an obvious answer. I don't think. What does it say?
Do you think that God can
see into the future or controls the future? He made the future.
Absolutely.
Robo Sunday.
So why would he not know, you know, what the future holds? There's a song, I forgot what it's called. It's a real old song. Well, it's not old, but it's one of those older songs. It's about like he knows my future and this is that and the third. So it's like if he knows your future, he's planned out the future.
Right.
He already knows what it looks like for you. So there's no guessing. And of course we want to know as humans, but we always can't have the answers because I've always told myself if I knew who I was going to marry, what job I was going to have, how much income I was going to have, like if I knew all of that right now, I would mess it up so quick.
Yeah.
Knowing what was ahead of me, I would be in a rush to do it. So it's like if God gave me what I wanted right now, and I would burn it all up. It wouldn't be nothing left for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do y'all want to answer the question?
Well, I mean, I would just say, yeah, for sure. I mean, like she said, it's an obvious answer. You know, he's all-knowing. So if you know that he's all-knowing, then you know that he knows the future. Yeah. You know, what will faith be if you didn't think that he knew the future?
Yeah.
What would you have to look forward to? What would you have to hold on to get you through whatever you're going through if you didn't think that he already knew the future?
Right.
So, yeah.
I agree.
Nah, I mean, y'all can pick a card. I mean, I ain't really got to be the one. You know what I'm saying? Just picking a card. But, you know, somebody can pick a card. We're just going to do, like, everybody pick a card, I guess.
And the song is called Because He Lives. I don't know why I forgot that. But it's very well known.
Who's it by?
I don't know. It's old.
very old. Like,
You gotta read it out loud.
dang.
Do you think God has a plan for your life? What about non-Christians?
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay.
I believe that God has a plan for everybody's life. Jeremiah 29:11 is one of the verses that I live by. Plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, but to give you an expected end. And I just believe that, each and every day that we wake up, like, God has a plan for us. I know Proverbs says that each man's step is ordered by the Lord. So, I kind of think this one's kind of obvious too, but it's just, I think I like these questions just because they're a reminder. Like, when we think about these questions and when we answer them, like, it's easier just to say it in our heads, but once we verbally say them out loud, then it's like, okay, like, I needed that. That's a reminder. So
Sure.
I definitely think he has a plan for all of us.
Yeah, he definitely has a plan. I feel like if he didn't have a plan, we would have all the answers and we would be able to make things happen for ourselves. But we constantly, dig ourselves in holes that we can't get out of. So he's the only one that can get us out of it. And I know that, like, we all have our own road to go on, but it's, about the mindset, about trusting him and allowing him to lead us where we're supposed to be.
Absolutely. I agree.
Nah, I think we can just do one more. Let's see here. Ooh, okay, I like this. All right, where do you learn how to love and obey God?
It said, where do you learn?
Where do you learn? When do you learn how to love and obey God?
The Bible.
Hey,
Oh my God.
I need to stop.
Yeah.
Like, actually, all right, my bad. I ain't gonna do no more. But I think, of course, the Bible, but I think it comes with experience too. I mean, shoot, I had a time where, it wasn't easy to just say, okay, I'm gonna obey and love God.
Right.
Like, especially, me, you, hopefully not you right now, but just looking for that significant other. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, I went to a party the other day, and I'm just sitting there middle of the party, right? And I'm just looking, I'm like, what am I here for? Honestly,
Listen.
what am I here for? And I was thinking about that. I was like, I'm looking for a wife in a place where all you gonna find is a one night stand, basically.
Right.
Like,
That's
what
the
am I
wrong-
here for?
That's the wrong place to find it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I was just there, and then I was like, hey man, I'm gonna leave. And luckily, like, I left at the right time because they were about to shoot it up.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why am I here when I know that I'm not gonna find what I'm looking for in here, like,
Right.
basically. So I think it just comes with experience and knowing it's just gonna take time. Everything takes time. Everything good, at least,
Right.
takes time. So yeah. But the last thing I want to discuss is just growing up. Like, how do you struggle or fight with the idea that, most Christians that grow up as Christians, they usually lose their faith. So how do you fight with, or, grapple with the idea that, okay, like, this could be make or break for me in my relationship with God? How do you maintain that relationship, especially in this age where everybody's just trying to find their own way, or, just trying to find their own faith? How do you, wrestle with that? Just staying Christian, keeping in the good fight, fighting the good fight, keeping the faith, all of that.
I guess I'll start off. Basically, with me is not saying that he's a last resort or anything like that, but like, if not God, if not my faith, then what? What else
Yeah.
is there to look forward to? What else is there to hold on to? Because this world ain't really got nothing to hold on to outside of God. But so with me, when I'm feeling down and I'm feeling like my back is against the wall and I'm feeling like there's nowhere else to go and I'm struggling inside my head, I hold on to the fact that there is light on the other end. And I know that God is that light and I know that the only way I'm going to make it through is through God. Like, you have to have faith in something. Everybody believes in something. They could say I'm an atheist and I don't believe. Everybody believes in something. You believe you go wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you believe in something.
Right.
So just with me knowing what God has already done in my life,
Right.
I hold on to that, because if he's done it before, he'll do it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's with me.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That is a
Period.
bar.
Period.
I agree with Lisa. It's just having strong faith in God. Like, if he brought you out of something, he'll bring you out again. And it's the fact that if the world turns its back on me, God will always be there for me like he once was before.
Yeah.
So even if the world, like, has these temptations and all that, I just keep my eyes focused on the Lord and know what all he's done for me.
Yeah.
Right. I think, like, definitely having a prayer life and staying in your word definitely helps you, because when you pray for certain things, you have to be prepared for what you exactly pray for. Because I remember there was a time I was going through a lot. Mind can play tricks on you, devil can play tricks on you, and I was asking God. I was like, just give me the peace, like, the peace that passeth all understanding. And, like, literally, there are times where I know there are situations where I would have freaked out or would have acted out, but now I'm just like, I just breathe.
Yeah.
Now that it happens, and it's like, right. But I find myself more mature spiritually in how I respond to people, and even though we go through things, it's okay to cry. It's okay to go through these things, and I think what a lot of people fail to realize is just because I'm in church, or just because I've always been in church, doesn't mean I'm still not human. Like, what if I break every chain, but I like nuck if you buck at the same time? Like,
It's possible.
Nuck. If you buck.
right.
Possible.
I ain't gonna lie, the sound effect was crazy. But speaking of that, I think Taraja brought up a good point, and I want to speak on that. And it's one of, like, the hardest questions to answer, just because, like, it just is. But I think one of the hardest questions to answer is, why do bad things happen to good people? I just kind of want to hear y'all's ideas on that before, we get out of here. So
I think bad things happen to good people only to test their strength and to be a reminder to them, like, after they get over whatever they get over, that it's a reminder of how strong they are, so that whenever anything else comes up, it's nothing. Like, it's nothing. Like, I can fight this. I can get through this. Not saying it won't hurt, but it's like, I've been through this before. I know how to go about it.
yeah, and especially you, like, how do you find the good in, like, the ministry that you do? Like, I know it can be tough because we're all going through that phase to where we're trying to figure out what we want to do in life. So how do you find the good in the ministry and the visuals that you do? Because we all peep your visuals and we all like them. So how do you find the good in that?
I think I just tried to remember the vision that I had when I wanted to start my business. I started doing it just because I liked it, but then it started becoming like the embodiment of, like, what our church looks like. And Bishop says it to my mom all the time, it's all about culture. Like, what is one thing that you all do well? And we told him, like, we love very well, and in these videos and these pictures that we have, it's shown in that. So whenever people see it on Facebook or wherever, it makes them want to come out. And people are joining, church is growing. So yeah.
I feel that. And then Lisa, like, we know that you're married. Jeremiah in the building. Say, what's up? What's up?
Hey, boo.
Anyway, but we know that you're married. So how does that, like, how do you find the good in that? Because we know that it's not all, always good. Hopefully it is. Like, I'm not wishing that upon you, but hopefully it's all good. But, how do y'all find, like, the balance between, like, the good and the bad, happy and sad and all that?
Being realistic, that it's not gonna always be good. You can't go into a relationship, and I tell my friends this all the time. It's not, you can't go in a relationship and think it's gonna be perfect, because we're never gonna argue. We're never gonna have our spats. Like, you're always gonna you're gonna have that. It's about communication, and it's about both being strong in your faith. if he over here to the wayside and you trying to strengthen your relationship, y'all, maybe it ain't time for y'all. So basically, both being strong in our faith, both wanting to pray together, and just understanding that even though we might be arguing or whatever, and it seems so hard right now, it's all going to be worth it in the end.
Right.
This is going to be another lesson to your relationship. Like this is going to just be a lesson. So basically, and just to keep loving on each other no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Just keep loving each
Right.
other. Like that's
And speaking of that, like doing what you love and loving each other, like what do you love to do, like as far as passion wise? Because we know you vlog and things of that nature. So
vlog. I have a logo graphic design business, so I like to do different graphics and things of that nature. In the house, I like to sing. In the house.
In the house.
But those are my passions and just techie stuff. I like techie stuff. So yeah, that's my passion. That's what I like to do and help him. Just be I'm more into just like servanthood. I like helping people. I like seeing where I can help out at. So that's another passion of mine.
And if you had some advice for anybody out there trying to get married and something like that,
I got
She talking to you?
Yeah.
CJ, no, I'm playing.
Right.
But so what I would say is communication always.
Yeah.
Forever communication. A lot of people they have this skewed vision of what communication is. There's no such thing as perfect communication.
Right.
It's always evolving communication. How can we get better? How can we get better? How can we get better? And it's not going to always be a up and up and up. Sometimes you may get a little stagnant. Sometimes it may go backwards. But, really to me, the biggest thing is communication. And then, like I said before, never stop loving each other.
Amen.
Right.
Amen. Speaking of communication, Taraja, how do you communicate with your peers, especially being a young age Christian, especially through singing and dancing? We know you act. You're a pretty good actor. Well, I didn't say that.
Ooh.
Somebody else said it, but not me. Anyway, but how do you communicate through those things? Like, how do you feel as if that's your passion or,
I feel like I was blessed with the gift of singing and acting
Period.
and dancing.
Mm-hmm.
But communicating with peers, it's more of like knowing what to say at the right time
Yeah.
and having patience, because not a lot of them have good influences right now, and they're all on TikTok, so they just say a bunch of crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and they don't really know what they're saying,
Yeah.
or they just be cussing
Right.
like crazy
Yeah.
Oh,
and disrespecting people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
it's bad out here. They're struggling.
yeah. So it's more of having patience and just trying to be the example of showing them what's right and like what's wrong, because some of them aren't. You can't do that when you're trying to get.
Do you
jobs.
find that hard, like sometimes, or?
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's pressuring sometimes, because when you get into the school and they like find out that you like, oh, she don't cuss, oh, she don't do stuff like that, they always call you like goody two shoes because you're a pastor's kid. You're trying to prove something. You're trying to prove something to people because you're a pastor's kid. And I'm like,
I
no,
felt that.
yeah.
I'm not. I'm just.
I'm tired of the labels, honestly.
I know.
I think female PKs get it more worse than
Yeah.
male PKs, because it's always like the first instance that anybody finds out that I'm a PK is, oh, you're a pastor's kid? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, you must be wild.
For real?
Yeah.
I get that all the time. I ain't gonna lie.
Wild? Are you serious?
Wild is
Like,
crazy. Yeah.
It's only because there are certain pastors that have like such a strong leash on their children, and then they go crazy. My mom has never laid a hand on me,
Yeah.
and she's never been strict on me, even in my teenage years. So I think her just leaning back a little bit helped me a little bit more. And then just daily being a preacher's kid, you kind of find yourself like preaching
Yeah.
every day to somebody about something
facts, yeah.
without you even like
Trying
knowing
to,
that you're
yeah.
preaching. And it's like you're being a literal like physical messenger daily, but like you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad your mom never laid her hand on you, because me,
Ooh, don't tell
Yeah.
on Lady T.
my parents used to lean on me.
Not
Hey.
Bishop.
I got it worse.
Not Bishop.
For mom?
You got it worse?
For mom?
You got it worse?
For mom?
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Okay, are we doing this right now?
Right. Okay.
I'm just asking. You got it worse?
Yep.
All right,
right.
guys. Well, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. It was a pleasure doing it with these ladies. As you can see, we're going to turn on the beat. Wait. Don't let me do it because I'm going to do it. Yeah. Get right into it.
Okay.
1 and 2 and 3.
I get it.
Yeah, I go off on the beat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just sitting in seats. Kicking it with my feet like it's just
Okay.
judo. Take off to Mars, Earth, then to Pluto.
You lost it. You lost it.
Ooh.
That was
That was
good.
good. All right.
I give you that.
We'll tune out. See y'all later. See y'all next week. We out. Peace. Hey. No, I'm not done.
Yes,
I
you
am
are.
not finished.
Yes,
I
you
am a menace. All in the kitchen. Yeah, I'm